Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Touchdown Friday, our playoff preview. I'm joined here today, not by Brian Bailey, but by Nolan Knight.
How's it going?
What's going on?
Happy to be here.
Yes, we are happy to have you. But anyway, we're going to get started on week 3 of playoffs. Nolan and I will both be out at games, as well as Bailey. First, we're going to talk about the 1A matchup. It's the second seed North Edgecombe versus number 6 Gates County. So North Edgecombe is coming in 9-3, Gates County 9-4. Their only losses were back in the first 2 weeks of the season. And then again to Tarboro, who we'll talk about in a little bit. But Gates County has got a big matchup tonight over at North Edgecombe.
No, yeah, that should be a great game. Obviously, they're coming off of a huge win over Pamlico County, a team that came in with a 3 seed, had a really successful season under a first-year head coach at that. And, you know, unfortunately, they did catch a loss in the second round after having that bye. But shout out to Gates County getting a big win and now face off against a pretty good North Edgecombe team.
Yes, so up next on our list, we've got the 1AA matchup, our season-long number 1 in our top 9, Tarboro, who's got the 1 seed, against number 4, North Rowan. I'm headed out there on Friday, but Jeff Craddock and the Vikings, you know, all credit to him. They've been doing a really, really awesome job this year. Their offense is just electric. They're fast. They score often. It's one of those games you got to be there early for. And in the past, they've made it pretty far in the playoffs, so this is nothing new to them, and they're looking really for all or nothing.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Whenever you win 64-0 in your first round, I think that says, or your first game you play in the second round, I think that says a lot about where your team's at. You'd want to say they're playing their best football at the perfect time, but they've been playing their best football all year.
I know. North Rowan, on the other hand, they lost 3 in a row to open up their season, but they really kicked off the rust or the nerves, whatever it was, riding into a 9-game win streak, looking for number 10 against Tarboro this Friday. But next, we have number 2, the second seed, Edenton, who's 11-0 on the season, coming in, is about to play number 6, Manateo, who's 11-2. Edenton is the host tonight. What else do you know about it, Nolan?
Yeah, Edenton's a team that was a surprise to, I think, a lot of us around here. But if you talk to anyone from John A. Holmes, obviously they've known that this was coming for a while now. I got to watch them play against Washington County School a couple of weeks ago in our Touchdown Friday game of the week. Washington County, a team that made the playoffs, a good team, and it was Edenton all game long. And I think everyone's waiting for that final matchup in the East region between Tarboro and Edenton. Obviously, both of those teams have to win this week, and you got to take the game at hand seriously. And I think we're all just waiting for that next game between Tarboro and Edenton.
Of course, the two teams did meet back on October 31st, and Edenton certainly won in style. They shut out the other team 56-0. So they've got an interesting rematch, so to speak, tonight. But next up, in our 2A matchup, we have Clinton as the number 1 seed, who's 11-1 coming in the season, versus home West Craven, who's number 4. So what you think?
West Craven, I mean, what a story they've been. They kind of struggled at the beginning of the season, and then to use the overused phrase of playing your best football at the right time, they're the perfect example of that. Those last couple of weeks of this season really showing off how good and they are with a couple of huge wins late. Obviously, they got to host 2 playoff games. That's a huge deal for a West Craven team, really trying to figure out who they are. Got the first round win against Kinston, which was great. Kinston was one of the better 6-5 teams in the state, and now here they are going on the road. So we'll see if they can continue their good play against obviously the top seed in 2A.
Yeah, they're a fun team too. You know, I was there when they were playing for their East Carolina 2A title with their win over Washington a few weeks ago. So that was a fun one. We've got. Continuing along, the number 2 seed Southwest Edgecombe versus number 3 Northeastern.
And this one's going to be great too. Southwest Edgecombe, a great team. Some people were a little surprised that they weren't the number 1 overall seed since they had the extra win rather than Clinton did. And Southwest Edgecombe's a great team. They've blown out their couple of opponents that they've played, and they're facing off against a Northeastern team who, you know, maybe isn't the Northeastern team of years past, but they're still coming to this one 8-3. They've lost a couple of those games that they didn't think they were going to lose. Edenton being one of those schools that they lost to, but they have the 3 seed. They're a good team like they are every year, and they're facing off against one of the better Southwest Edgecombe teams. So that's going to be a really great matchup, maybe the best of the week.
I'm excited to see some of these play. Next, moving on the 2AA East matchup, we have number 6 seed Hertford County versus the number 7 seed Salisbury, which I do think this is interesting. These are one of the lower seeds that are left in the East. There are a few number 10 or 10 seeds out west a little bit, but Hertford County versus Salisbury. Salisbury had a great win over Washington last week. Washington was the number 2 and they knocked them off. So I think they're coming in. This will be an interesting game. They're both 11-2 on the season too.
I think a lot of people were surprised by that Washington game. Obviously, they were conference champions and were, as you know, as a fan of high school football, you were kind of hoping to see what they could do after they haven't had all that much success in years past. And sure enough, they were knocked off early in the second round. And so look out, maybe Salisbury's real deal.
I know. So we will see. This will be an interesting matchup. 3A East matchup. We have the 2nd seed Havelock. The Rams coming in playing Eastern Alamance. So Ken will be out there for that one.
Yeah, that should be a great matchup too, and another game to look out for. On our long list of games, a couple of really great teams facing off against one another. Havelock's a team that has been, unbelievable to watch this year. They started their season off with a loss to New Bern, who's the 1 seed in 4A, and then they've caught stride. I mean, I don't even know 11 wins now. I think it is for them.
I think so.
They've been phenomenal under first-year head coach over there at Havelock. They've kind of imposed their will, if you will, against a lot of these teams. And they're one of the teams that if we do have an Eastern region team that's from, our viewing area, Havelock might be one of those teams that's in a state championship at the end of the year.
Yeah, and you talk about head coach Alan Wooten, you can see on the screen, he's got such great chemistry with his players, and he's an awesome person just to interact with, and that team is very much behind what he's saying. And it's very obvious when you're on the sidelines at their games, and they're after it all. So when I was talking to a few of them a few weeks ago, the players were like, we're in it to win it. So expect to see them go pretty far.
That's what you want to see, especially after, you lose your first game as head coach at a program like Havelock that's had so much success. And, maybe there's a couple of parents or old players that are maybe questioning, the new guy at the helm. But guess what? Alan Wooten's got you right back where you want to be.
Yes. All right. And then our last one that we'll be covering this week is a 4A East matchup where you are going.
Yeah, that's right.
1st seed New Bern playing number 4 seed Cardinal Gibbons.
Yeah, Cardinal Gibbons is a really great team. Obviously, New Bern's the number 1 seed for a reason. They've had a lot of success this year. Got tripped up a couple of times, which was a little surprising after the start that they had. New Bern with a couple of losses this season. I know Conley was one of them. And then they kind of stumbled out of the gates against 71st in their second round game. But, obviously they came away with the victory, which is, at the end of the day, all that matters. But they're facing off against a much better Cardinal Gibbons team that, they had a bye as well week 1. That's a pretty good football team that's lost just as many games. And so when you're looking up and down the East region in 4A, I kind of like New Bern and Cardinal Gibbons to be, probably the first and second best team in my eyes. But obviously, you get it a week early in the semifinals of the East region.
Yeah, for sure. And expect that place to be packed. Those fans are very fun to be around. I got in the stands a few weeks ago and was filming some stuff for Touchdown Friday.
That's what it's all about.
It is. So that will do it here. I'll wrap up our Touchdown Friday playoff preview. Be sure to tune in on Friday to Touchdown Friday.